And you're live.
Thank you. It is now 6:39 p.m. on Monday, July 28th, 2025. This is the Recreation Committee of the Town of Groveland. I am Patrick Molina, the acting chair. Looks like we do not have quorum, so while we will not be able to make any votes on anything, I do want to go through the agenda really quick and then confirm an additional meeting. So the first item on the agenda is a reorganization of the Recreation Committee. We can't vote on that, so we're going to push that item until the next meeting. So that was quick. Part two is recruitment of additional members. And ironically and fortunately, we have somebody who's come in from the town to come visit and has some interest in potentially serving on the Recreation Committee. And I believe he's at the podium right now. Sir, can you introduce yourself and tell us, give us your street address as well?
Sure. Stephen Hamill, 127 Main Street. And yes, I was planning to come because I saw the agenda that you were trying to recruit additional members. I think I saw last year that it was dropped from 7 members to 5 because it was trouble getting a quorum, and you don't even. So with that, but I have 2 children in Groveland, 8 and 10, both involved in sports and other activities. We like to hike the local trails. Excited about the trail enhancement that was voted on at town meeting. So I was curious about how I could help, if serving on the committee or just sort of advisory type thing. But it sounds like committee membership might be a helpful thing. So,
Well, what I would say is, so the route to proceed is, I believe you send a message to Rebecca through the website. There is, I think
there's a form
I think there's a
for-
form,
yeah.
so you just fill out the form and ship it over to her. Certainly, we'd like to have you appointed to the committee before the next meeting so that we can make sure we have quorum. It appears that one of the members of our committee has a conflict, and so it's manna from heaven that you've fallen into our laps. So we're thrilled about it. I will speak to Rebecca as well, that your form is coming, and we'll try to get you on board for the next meeting. And what we try to do is stagger the meetings to match up with, so it doesn't conflict with, say,
Select board.
Select board is on, first and third Mondays and things like that. So what I think is open usually is fourth Monday of the month. So I would look at the calendar and suggest that August 25th at 6:30 be the next meeting time. Is that a time that you think you could make?
let me see. I would think so.
And Michelle?
Yes, I am flexible for that day.
All right, so
I do not have anything on my calendar.
I'd be inclined to set the meeting for 6:30 or plan to have the meeting. Of course, we can't vote on it, but that would be what I would suggest. And then, like I said, everything, the select board would appoint you, and then that would be that, essentially. If you have anyone else that is local that you would love to, have on the board as well, we would be thrilled. I always think more voices is better. So, having a small board is not what the ultimate goal is. I think there are a lot of different things that this board can be helpful with. We've got Groveland Day coming up. We'll probably have we'll have a booth there, I would imagine. Things like that. This is a big Groveland Day. So, we've got sports groups around, with the trails, as you mentioned, the trail enhancement projects is going. So there's a whole bunch of things going on. And we love the idea of more volunteers, more people, more hands makes lighter work. So this is awesome. We're really happy about it.
And there's 5 total slots on the board, but only 2 currently filled? Is that
I believe that's accurate. If it became a situation where we had more interest than slots, I think it would be very easy for us to go to the select board and suggest that we re-expand the board. And again, I'm a big proponent of more voices, makes a better product. So, so that would conclude, do you have anything on additional membership?
I do not.
Okay. So that'll conclude that portion of this. I do want to talk a little bit about the 2025 Trail Enhancement Project. It was approved at town meeting, as you mentioned. Very happy about it. We're just getting started. This is the first month that we're permitted to work on it, and we had to go through some process. It is actually my sponsored project. And what I can say is I, along with Mike Dempsey, who is the co-sponsor of the project, have walked 4 of the 6 trails in the last week, and kind of looked, and if you take a look at your package, there's the second set has the trails listed and shows their maps, and sort of what we've done is a mock-up of where there should be additional benches and where there should be additional, dog waste containers and things of this various nature and whatnot. And by and large, the things we saw when we were, boots on the ground, matched up pretty well with what had been, sort of pre-planned. There's a couple of variances from that, but I am very excited about the idea of putting some infrastructure in some of these places. Some of the trails are very rough and will be really great. I know that Groveland Commons would be served very well by the Merrimack River Trail, which is, has very little infrastructure, if any at all. There is a bridge that's out on the Meadow Pond trail, and that needs to be, repaired and replaced. And we have some additional retrofitting that can be done with a couple of the other bridges out there. But it's exciting because we'll be able to put markers that are numbered and match up with so where you are when you're walking on these trails, and folks don't get as lost. I noticed that most of the trails service an area that have a lot of folks. So for example, Merrimack River has the Groveland Commons folks. Town Forest has Nichols Village. VZ Park has a bunch of folks that way. Meadow Pond, there's a new development going in behind it that has over 100 units. So, we have situations where each of these parks or each of these trails is set up in a way that it's going to service an area where folks who live in town will be able to really enjoy a spot very close to where they live. And if we make everything kind of uniform as far as, Groveland style for these various things, I think it's going to be a wonderful addition to what we currently have and enhance the assets that we have there. With that, I still have to go to Town Forest in the Center Street Greenway, but we have by and large on all the paths seen pretty much where things are listed on the pages you have are going to be where those infrastructure are going to be located. I've worked with Rebecca a bit on this, and we've gotten started, and she's going to put a Big Belly, which is a trash compactor that's solar powered, on the rail trail, and I believe we're going to place it right in the middle at Center Street on the toward Georgetown side. And the idea is that it's central, so it'll get as much usage as possible, and also be very easy to have the trash removed. So that's something that's in the works as far as procurement. The next set of things that I think are a priority is ordering the benches, which are metal and will need to be installed. As I understand it, the town is going to be we're going to contract out the town to install them with concrete footings, so they're permanent and they don't get removed and things. And some of the other things like the waste containers and the dog waste stuff that hard tangible infrastructure. Those are things that I want to prioritize and get them in, and I also want to get moving on the bridges because that's another substantial piece. So while this is all happening, we're trying to get volunteers and get folks who want to help clear paths and do some of that sort of stuff, so that we can get so that the trails, when we have trail maps for each of them, that are kind of uniform, like the trail is where it looks like it's going to be,
Right.
the markers that say where they are where they say they are. And so when you see on the map it says you are here, you will really be there. So exciting project, lots of good support from town, and anybody that has any interest in reaching out or being involved can feel free to email me directly at pmillina, PMILLINA @gmail.com. I'm happy to speak with anybody. You can certainly direct message me if you see me on the crier or something like that. But we'll take all the hands we can get, because there's a lot of work to be done, and it's work that can, a lot of the work is work that can be done by regular folks. So the more we get volunteerism, the less we have to spend, and the more we can return to the town when we're done.
Do we have set times, dates for volunteers to come, or is it whenever they're available to do work?
It's a good question, and if you reach out about being able to volunteer, letting us know when you have availability is A plus. So we don't have strict requirements about those things. As we get into, okay, this is the day we're doing this project and this is what we're doing here, then maybe that will be more prevalent, and say, okay, we're going to put in all the mile markers on the rail trail today, we need, we could use, 10 folks to come help us and measure and do things and whatnot.
Okay.
But we don't have any hard and fast rules about like when
Yeah.
people can volunteer.
So no
yet.
established dates or
Nothing
anything?
established
Okay.
as of yet.
Who will be doing the mile markers? Do we have someone that will be able to survey the land?
Not exactly sure, and again, that's actually kind of an add-on that we were just talking about recently, especially on the rail trail, because it's one of those places that people train, and you see the folks going back and forth. It is almost exactly 2 miles, and there's kind of 1 mile one way and 1 mile the other way, so it is sort of made for training purposes. It feels that that's a really good use for it. So I do think, obviously, if we're going to do mile markers, they need to be accurate. So we'll have to figure out exactly how we can do that. But I'm sure some folks will have some good ideas about it.
Okay.
So that's all I want to say about it right now. We're going to be having monthly updates on this thing and see what is happening. Right now, we're getting the names of contractors and getting things together to start doing some basic procurement. And once we get that lined up, we'll have a better idea of when we can start, soliciting for specific dates and things like that.
Okay.
Anything else on trail enhancement?
No, I think this will be a great benefit to the town, having these trails available. And I feel like once they're, cleaned up and organized and uniform, I think the usage of it will definitely increase. So-
Yeah, I think that's true. And what I would say is particularly what I saw at the Merrimack River Trail was there's no infrastructure whatsoever. You wouldn't necessarily even know it's there. And so if we have uniform maps, and people, start to get the word about it, you got a kiosk at the front of the trail that says what's going on, then it's just so much easier. It's just so much easier to use, and people will feel a lot more comfortable getting around there and moving around. And it's beautiful back there,
Right.
honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Compared to the community trail that does have some signage to it.
Right.
It definitely makes it a little bit more user-friendly when there is signage to know, okay, this is actual public land that I can explore.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
And that trail in particular, it's not paved like community trail, but it's really accessible. It's nice and wide and flat. So like town forest, if you have any mobility issues, I think would be more difficult. But
Yeah.
that Merrimack River Trail goes in
It's
quite a bit, and it's really wide because they have to be able to get the truck in there to the well, I think.
Well, I noticed that as it being a very easy walkable path, and it seems like that's a great marry for Groveland Commons, who might have some older folks with mobility type issues. And you contrast that with Meadow Pond, say, and it's that is once you get back there, you're huffing puffing a little bit once you get back into it. the ease of walking and maybe the difficulty of the trail, that's kind of stuff that we may want to be trying to put on the maps and,
Right.
let people know, hey, listen, this is an easier trail. The mileage is this, there's a loop here, those sorts of things. Moving on, we did get a request from Gabriella De Palma, and she was an eighth grade student. I imagine she's going to ninth grade in the fall, and athlete living in Groveland. She wrote to ask for support in setting up a youth volleyball program for the community. I reached out to her just really recently, so if there's any fault on any of this, it's on me. But I will invite her to come and present at the next meeting to talk about what she would envision. But what I envision and what I think is anytime the Recreation Committee can be a partner with, folks who are trying to, add a program that will be beneficial to the town or portions of the town, whatever way we can sort of, help ease that road or make the right connections or set up the right logistics, that seems like the kind of thing that I think the board would be really interested, or the committee would be really interested in. But I will invite her specifically to the next meeting, and we'll hear from her directly, I bet. Future CPC projects. So the conservation, the Community Preservation Commission is in charge of kind of overseeing CPC money that comes in from the state and also from a portion of our tax payments. And that committee determines what projects go each year. You'd mentioned that the trail project was submitted, approved, and, at town meeting, and now here we are able to move forward on it. So thinking about future CPC projects with an eye toward recreation, I'm very interested in hearing what people have to think about. I personally am thinking about trying to advance a project where we are going to light up, at least put lights on the baseball field at the Pines that doesn't have them right now, and possibly retrofit the other field, because light technology between now and when those lights went up is so much different that it's so much cheaper to use LED lighting that has a lot more functionality and all these different things. I am trying to work with Rebecca on that as far as putting together what might look to be a good project. And also, I think, in conjunction with trying to, they're putting in lighting at the Pines anyway, so trying to marry those two things together. Do you have any thoughts about something, any CPC potential project?
Full disclosure, no.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's okay.
I think the biggest one is the trails and those enhancements. I do feel like various Groveland Facebook groups recently have posted about trails and trail enhancements. So I think that is a really great initiative for CPC and for us to be involved with that as well too. I think definitely the Pines is coming along with all of those enhancements that we've been working on for the past couple of years. But other than that, I don't have any future projects in mind right now.
No, I totally put you on the spot. So,
Oh, that's
so
okay.
I mean, we have a month till the next meeting, and you
Yeah.
can think of all kinds of.
Oh, yes.
But no, I agree with you. I think this project in particular is a really good chance for us to sort of kind of flex our recreation committee muscles a little bit and sort of find some folks that can be helpful to the project and take some ownership in it, and really, when we look at before pictures and after pictures, see that we've done something really nice. For example, the bridge that's out at Meadow Pond, was put in like 2008. So I mean, we're getting close to 20 years out, and that's good functionality. So if you have to replace a bridge every 20 years, that's not so bad. If it's pressure treated wood and telephone poles, I mean, it's different than if you put something with a lot more expense in there and that sort of thing. So I'm pretty optimistic that when the trail enhancement project is completed, or when certain milestones are hit, folks will be really happy that this was something that was done. Future agenda items, planning. I would set an agenda item for Groveland Day, I think we need to get talking about what we're going to do and how we're going to present that and what we're seeking from, folks,
Right.
how we'll interact with people at that time. So I think I would want to have a spot to talk about that
Come next meeting.
come next meeting.
Okay.
Anything that you can think of that we haven't discussed here that should be on the next meeting? Again, no pressure.
No, I had something in mind, but now my mind is going blank.
Well, in the interim, if it comes to you, reach out. We'll
Okay.
definitely make sure it gets on the next agenda.
Thank you.
Anything from the public?
I don't have anything, no.
Okay, all right. Any items not reasonably anticipated at the time of posting that you can think of, Michelle?
Is it conducive for us to talk about strategies for recruiting additional members?
I think we certainly can talk about it. We can't vote on anything, but I think it's a great, it's well-used time. So if you wanted to talk about that, that'd be great.
Yeah. Can I ask a public question?
You can ask the public a question.
How did you find out about the rec committee?
I watch a lot of the town meetings on YouTube, and so I've been trying to engage that way first, and I keep an eye on the calendar that's on the website, which is always posts with the agendas and everything ahead of time.
Awesome.
So I think it was like the last recreation committee meeting, I think it was last summer, was the last time they had one, but I try to watch like the select board and the planning board and all those sorts of meetings.
Okay.
Probably somewhat more engaged than many in that regard, but I think, I don't use Facebook, so I'm not on those boards that you said people are posting about, but that's how I happened. I've been trying, having been in the town for 6 years now, trying to figure out a way. I'm not like somebody who's going to ever run for office. I don't want to talk to people generally, but
Well, the recreation committee is the gateway drug. You'll get in, and then you'll do a great job, and I'm sure that all of a sudden, people start asking you to do some more things.
I mean, along from that, like the public thing, I mean, I am interested in possibly joining, so it might be the other way, but if the public has ideas for CPC projects, is there a vehicle through the Recreation Committee versus
so-
going direct to the CPC itself?
Well, and I mean, honestly, anyone can, these are public meetings. As you've shown up, so too can anyone from town, and, come forward. We're always happy to, get additional ideas. This is not a monarchy or, that sort of thing. So we love it when things bubble up from folks, and different people have different, frames of reference. So somebody's a gardener, somebody's a walker, somebody's, wants to play sports. It's good to get all the different views. We were very fortunate last year to have someone come in with an idea to fix the Bagnell Public Garden, and they've done an amazing job. And if you've been down there, it looks great.
Yeah.
And it looked like trash, just months before.
Yeah.
So and I think lots of folks donated time, and some of the companies in town donated materials and effort and work, and it's exactly the kind of thing where people are getting together, and if you didn't know about it, you wouldn't have been involved. And so, like your point to how are we finding these folks is, 100% rings true. So.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think it might be prudent if we are able to maybe put a public post out there of needing recreation committee members. I mean, obviously, anyone who watches these forums online, I think this meeting will definitely reiterate the fact that we need committee members. But maybe there is an opportunity to engage in social media, since Groveland Town Crier is a very active Facebook page within our community, to put something out there looking for members.
I'll also reach out to Rebecca specifically and kind of re-ring the bell, because it is definitely it's not good that we're fighting to have quorum on a board that really is helpful to the town and has a lot of ability to affect positive change. Free and pay. so it's not even, it's not even that it's a whole bunch of money that has to get spent. It's, sometimes it's just a matter of getting the word out. And that's been the big thing. So, that's a great point. Other items not reasonably anticipated?
No?
Okay, I don't have anything, and so at this point, at 7:04 PM, I'd say that we're gonna sign off and try to re-meet on
August 25th at
August
6:30.
25th at 6:30 PM. In the interim, we'll try to reach out to the select board and see if you can be appointed by that time, and I would be thrilled to see you on the board on this side. All right, thanks very much. Thank you. Eye in the sky.
No, I mute myself, so it takes a second. You're off.